Welcome back to my channel. My name's Panda. You can call me Miranda. Wait, is that my intro? Pause. Welcome back to my channel. My name's Miranda. You can call me Panda. And today we're going to talk about my plants. Well, before I get into my plants, I've been gone, obviously, for a long time. In my last video, I said there was a lot of things that I wanted to do. But 2020 was real wild, and so here I am making a video about my plants. Long awaited, you know. I want to do some more of the stuff that I mentioned in my last video in the future. I'm not completely throwing it aside, but I don't want to think about politics anymore right now, so I'm gonna make a video about my plants. So let's get into that. So I started my plant journey like maybe 3 or so years ago, and I only had 2 plants coming into 2020. Now, a lot of stuff happened at the beginning of 2020, and a coping mechanism that I found helped me was buying plants. And so I entered 2020 with 2 plants, and I left 2020 with 12 or 13 plants. Yeah, so some coping mechanism that was. But regardless, I love them all, and they've all been doing fairly well. I am a new plant mom, so I made a lot of mistakes on the way. Some of them didn't make it through 2020, but you know, it's perfectly fine. I'll try to go in chronological order of when I got the plants, but honestly my memory is not that great, so we're going to do the best we can. But let's start with my first plant I ever got. So the first plant that I ever got was this here bamboo shoot. She was a tiny little thing when I got her, and now look at her thriving in her glass jar. So cute. Her name's Bambi. I don't know if I already said that. But yeah, I got this bamboo shoot named Bambi. I got this plant on a trip to Chinatown, and it was the first plant that I ever got. I learned so much from Bambi about taking care of a plant. And that is because I did not know when I bought her that she was technically sick. One thing I did learn about bamboos is that you should always smell the water in the pot before you buy them. And if the water stinks or it smells funky, probably don't buy it, because the plant probably has root rot, and there's so many steps you have to take in order to take care of the plant or bring it back to life. Otherwise it'll die. You'll have to like wash the roots, wash the rocks every single day until they start to get healthy, change out their water every single day. And so that's what I had to do for her for about like 2 months, and then like she started to get healthier and grow, so then I just had to change the water out regularly, which is what you should do anyway with bamboos. But like at the beginning it was tough. Like I had to really pay a lot of attention to her. But this is my first plant. The second plant I got unfortunately died a couple months ago just because of the type of pot that I had it in. I can post a picture of it, but it was a little tiny cactus. It was so cute. His name was Pokey, but unfortunately he did not survive 2020. R.I.P. Pokey. He was 2 years old, and I loved him with my whole heart. Okay, so the next plant that I got last year was this plant. It is a corn plant. She does not look so hot right now. So I had her all summer, and she was doing great. She was thriving. She got pretty big. But once the weather changed, I don't know if I have her in the wrong pot, or it just wasn't draining well, but she ended up getting root rot, and I didn't know. And then because of the root rot, she got a fungal infection, and so we are currently treating her for her fungal infection, and she's doing well, but I had to cut so many leaves off because of it, and it's not really spreading throughout the plant anymore. But you know, she looks a little crazy right now because of the fungal infection, but we got it under control, identified what it was, got it under control, and now she's okay. She's thriving again, but you know, very slow. So hopefully by the springtime the fungal infection is all gone, and when the summer hits she can hit the ground running and start growing again. But yeah, this is Chip. Love her. I'm so sorry, boo. So this is Leslie. This is the plant that I got after I got Chip. This is a snake plant. I love her to bits and pieces. Look how big and beautiful she is. Unfortunately, a common denominator with all of my plants is that they got root rot. So she actually had 4 of these big leaves here. I mean, she had 5, but I had to throw one away because it just got so mushy. But yeah, she unfortunately also got root rot, so then I had to treat her and, you know, let her dry out and stuff. But it was this transition from summer to winter. I was watering them too much. They weren't drying out. I also thought that I had to have a watering schedule, and then by doing more research, I realized that I do not have to have a watering schedule. I need to go off of what the plants are telling me and not necessarily like habitually like that. And so now she's doing a lot better, and you know, hopefully she also makes it through like the spring to the summertime when, you know, they do a little better. But yeah, this is my snake plant, Leslie. The next plant that I got last summer was this giant cactus. It was actually a gift to my sister, but I took it to take care of it, and I just recently named the cactus. I was referring to the cactus as he up until I developed a name for it. Before I named the cactus, but then I decided that I wanted the cacti, this whole being, to be named Solana, because I think that's a pretty name. Shout out to you, SZA. But yes, this beauty, this is my pride and joy. I love this cactus so much. Look how big and bountiful it is. It has been thriving. It was a little bit smaller than this, and now it has so many little babies on it. Can you see it? It's not really focusing, but yes, it has so many tiny babies growing all over it. Love it to bits and pieces. So I think I might have gotten these before I got Solana. I'm pretty sure that I did. But these were gifted to me by my sister. We actually gifted her when she moved into her apartment this giant, I mean, it was a pretty sizable aloe vera plant, and it has ceased to create babies since we bought it for her. So these are two of the little babies from her aloe vera plant. Y'all, let me tell you, if somebody tell you that aloe vera is easy to take care of, please, please. Aloes and succulents are not that easy to take care of, okay? I thought that I was just going to put these aside and they were going to do what they do, but they did not. Well, it was partially my fault. By partially, I mean it was all my fault. I did have them in the wrong soil. I did not have them in the cactus well-draining soil and such, and so that was the first problem, and I did not take them out of that soil for a couple weeks, and so I knew that they were not going to thrive. But then I don't know if it's also the container. I'm not going to repot them yet. I'm just going to see how I can work with these containers, but then I'm eventually going to put them into clay pots. But yeah, then they just went downhill because of the soil, and then they lost their roots, and then I repotted them, and then they were kind of thriving, kind of not. So this is where they're at now. As you can see, they're okay. They have some new growth there in the middle, so they've been surviving, not thriving. They've been surviving thus far, and they're trying to stay alive. So I don't know what kind of aloe plant we bought her, but that is the most durable plant I've ever seen in my life, period. But this is Patricia and this is Patrick. So after Patricia, Patrick, and Solana, I ended up getting a 3-piece set of succulents. This is the only one that survived. And as you can see, it's not doing well. This is a recent development though, because I tried to repot it and I did not know that this type of succulent actually likes to be in a tighter pot. So I put it in a bigger pot and overwatered it, and so now it got a little squishy, but since I put it back in its original pot that I had it in last summer, because it got super big, like it was really tiny, and then I put it in this pot and it got really big. So I'm so sorry to this little guy. This one does not have a name though, and the other two, I forgot what types of succulents they were. I think one was a pearl succulent, and then I forgot what the other one was, but the first one died within like a month. I really just don't know why people say that succulents are so easy to take care of. And then the other one actually died relatively recently. It was holding on, but then as the winter months approached, like it just kept dropping its leaves so quickly until it had like 4 leaves left, and then at that point it just died. I show you it now because I still have it, but it's literally a shriveled up stem, and I am embarrassed by that. So anyway, enjoy my succulent that I'm hoping stays alive because I love this little guy. So cute. Next, I got this cactus. I don't know what kind of cactus it is, but his name's Timote. I don't know what I was doing. He's not buried well in this pot. So I'm gonna have to fix that. But I have him standing up on a little bobby pin because he's not buried well. But his name's Timote. I love this little guy. He got a lot bigger since I got him last summer. But yeah, I wish I knew what type of cactus he was. I probably should have looked that up. But yeah. The next plant that I got is this here bamboo shoot. As you can see, this bamboo shoot was not sick when it was purchased. And so you can see how big and lively and green and lush it is. This was actually gifted to me by my mom because I was having a really rough year last year. And I had a couple plants die at this point, and my dog passed away as well. And so she was like, let me just get this girl a plant so she could get it together. I honestly didn't even notice for like the first 3 days. That's how bad it was. And she was like, I got you a plant. And I was like, oh my God, when? But anyway, yes, this is my plant. I've affectionately named it Bailey in the loving memory of my dog, Bailey. But it is doing amazing. It was really tiny when we got it, and it's been a couple months, and this is how big it's gotten, and it just keeps getting bigger like month to month. It did have 5 stalks in it, but one of the stalks actually died. It was the biggest, but it had the least amount of leaves on it, so I don't know if it was going to make it anyway. But yes, my other bamboo. If you can't tell already, I love cacti and bamboo shoots. Those are my 2 favorite plants because they are so low maintenance. Gotta love them. Before I move on to the next plant, I do also want to talk about some plants that I killed in between this because I forgot to put them in the timeline and I don't remember exactly where they fit in. But I did have some Venus flytraps. I had 2 actually that I was trying to keep alive, but that was very hard and I just did not have the right environment and type of soil for them. And so I kept them alive for a couple weeks and then I cut off most of it that was dead, and the part that was still alive, tried to pot that. And then my sister, I decided that if those died, then that would be the end. But then my sister bought me another Venus flytrap, so then I started the whole process over again. And unfortunately, I still couldn't keep those alive. But like, I had named my Venus flytrap Stevani, and I thought it was the most clever name. So when it died, I was very heartbroken. Okay. So the next plant that I have here is actually my English ivy, which I cleverly named Ivy. Yeah. And so, as you can see, she is thriving. She's doing the best I've seen yet. She was smaller when I first got her, but the leaves have like opened up and really spread super wide now. And also this is her newest leaf here. And it's getting so big. I bought a grow light for my plants, and now they're really doing the damn thing over there. Sorry, her leaves are like twisted, but I guess I'll leave it alone. Yes, so she's doing really great. She's doing great. I love her. I read somewhere that ivies were hard to take care of, but you know, knock on wood, hopefully that she continues to thrive because she's doing great. These last 3 plants are my most recent purchase, and by recent I mean within the last like 2 months. The next plant is actually these 3 cacti right here. This is what Pokey looked like, and so when he recently died, like at the end of 2020, to help myself out, I went out and bought cacti that looked just like him, and 3 of them. So yes, I have not named these yet. I have no clue what to name all 3 of them. I've been like workshopping some stuff, but as of right now, they are nameless as well. Okay, so my second to last plant is this one here, a superstar croton. We're getting into the more difficult plant territory, the ones that need a little bit more of a watchful eye and a little bit more water than the cacti and the bamboo shoots. So I'm leveling up here. But this here is a superstar croton. I named her Guinevere. She is so pretty, and hopefully, because this type of plant needs a lot of light and needs, you know, heat of some sort, not necessarily like 80-degree heat, but like 50 to 70. So hopefully I can keep her alive and also give her enough light, because with a lot of light she gets more yellow spots, and so she just gets prettier over time. So hopefully I can do her some justice. Last but not least, I have bought this Tradescantia Nanook. That is so hard for me to pronounce, but I did it anyway because I am a mother and I will refer to my kids as their proper names and not what I want them to be. But I have not named her yet, but she's very pretty, very purple. This is also edging into the more difficult plants because this needs more water and attention, also humidity, and so I gotta make sure that the environment for this plant is right. But so far so good. I've only had her for about a week, and you know, she's not dead yet, so that's always a good sign. Yeah. Alright, so those were all of my plants, and I'm just very happy to be a plant mom now, to be a mother, no drama, and it just makes me feel fulfilled to like pour my attention and time into the plants. I'm not gonna lie though, like 2020 was very rough, and like I hit a very big bout of depression, and you know, it did affect my plants, as you can see by the aloe veras. That was the reason that I did not change them out of that soil for like 3 weeks, just because I felt too overwhelmed to take care of them, and it made me feel bad because they're alive and I could not take care of them. But it also taught me a lot about myself and like, you know, taking care of things in general. And so putting my time and attention into something that I actually really love makes me feel good, and when I feel good, my plants are able to feel good, and so I love it. It's a little cycle. But anyway, if you enjoyed my plants, please feel free to give me a like and subscribe, and hopefully I can get more content out sooner rather than later and be a little bit more timely with it. But please enjoy my plants in the meantime. I did give my plants a grow light. I think I mentioned that a little bit earlier with one of the plant introductions, but I did get them a grow light for the winter months because they were just not getting enough as much sunlight as they needed, sitting here in front of my window. And then we had to move them because of the Christmas tree and all that stuff, and winter and snow being by the window, we didn't want them to get cold. And on top of that, speaking of not wanting them to get cold, I also bought them a little heater because once again, I am a mother, no drama, and so I will keep my plants warm by any means necessary. So my plants they got a little house over here. They got heat, they got lighting, they got water, they got everything that they would need. All right, so I'll probably drop a picture of that in, or like a little clip of that in, because it's my pride and joy. But yes, thank you once again, because this ending is getting long, but thank you once again. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, do all of that stuff that YouTubers tell you to do to interact with their videos, and I'll see you later. Bye! And here's a little video on where I house my plants. I have them all on these little shelves right here, and they're looking cute. There's the heater. There's the grow light, and then I have like a little schedule that tells me when was the last time I watered some of my plants, just so I know, like, if their topsoil feels dry, like if it was a couple days ago, what's going on and stuff. Yeah, so these aren't all my plants. That one's my mom's, and those two are my mom's, and this pothos right there in the middle, but everything else is mine. Yeah.